Okay, so you're welcome back. Time now for AM Talk. My name is Kobna Chinchen Hineboating. Now, on AM Talk today, we'll be dealing with some national issues as usual and some other topical issues making rounds. I'm happy to be joined in the studio by Fred Agbenyo, who happens to be the Deputy National Communications Director of the National Democratic Congress. Fred, welcome.
Thank you very much, brother.
It's been a while.
Yes, you're doing well.
I haven't seen you since the Congress.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, it was a bit stressful and we need to relax a bit. And then there's mass and New Year festivities as well. We need to take time off and be with the family. Campaign is not easy to, you know. You leave home and media and come back after 3, 4, 5 days and stuff like that. So, but we're on.
So you're now communications, not propaganda?
Well, I don't know the difference really between the two. I think that the duties and responsibilities are not going to be any different. You got the technology, the name that has changed, but the duties are just going to be almost the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. Also have Kamaldeen Abdullah is the National Nasara Coordinator of the New Patriotic Party. Kamal, welcome.
Good morning. I must say thank you, and also to say Merry Christmas once we are still in the mood, even though quite not too good. I mean, asserted and of course confirmed by my own brother here. Anyway, I would have to seize this opportunity to congratulate him. In fact, prior to his election, we did meet and I did wish him well. Inshallah, Allah has actually shown the light and gotten him become the now called Deputy National Communication Officer. Mouthful, isn't it? Yeah, it used to be propaganda secretary, so simple. But now we have the Deputy National Communication Officer.
It's communications. I think we should leave it at that. I think we should leave it at that.
I was only wondering if my brother was really wishing me well.
I was wishing you
Anyway, so you think it's going to prove tough competition for you this time around?
Well, I think I was asked this question somewhere last week by Roland when I was here with Amalaba and just immediately after they came from their elections, whether or not the team that is being presented by NDC is a team that we should be afraid of. In fact, for me, I am one who never takes complacency for a ride. I mean, I never take complacency to be part of me in whatever I do, and I never undermined anybody in this game of politics. In fact, they have a team, they have a solid team, we have a team. I wouldn't say I'm not afraid, but then what I'm going to say is that I'm not going to relax. I'm not going to make sure that I approach issues with laxity as a team also coming from the NPP. We're going to work hard. They have a team. Seemingly they think it's a strong team, but we also have a team.
Okay, let's see what happens come 2016. The NPP, the NDC, plus a lot more political parties, right?
Joining Africa Cup is just around the corner. South Africa is going to the tournament. Ghana is going. Okay. Before we play our teams, I don't know if the winner will emerge.
Sure.
And, I think that we are masters of the game.
Anyway, so back to the substantive issues of the day. You know, I want us to start off with the call for the promotion of political stability in the country. Maybe let me take this from my John line. Just the intro. It says the chairman of the National Peace Council, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, has charged state institutions, political parties, and Ghanaians to promote acts that ensure political stability. And I'll quickly tie that in with what's on the front page of the Daily Graphic here, with talks of Cardinal Texin calling for national government, a unity government sort of. Let me start off with you, Fred. Fred, what do you make of these calls?
Well, let me start off first of all by saying good morning to your cherished viewers.
Sure.
And then wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. We are still in the mood, especially my NDC delegates who did all of us proud in our last Congress. We salute all of them. A call for national government or unity government, whichever you want to look at it. I'm not too sure exactly what the call is. Are we looking at a one-party state? What is that we are talking about? We need to look at it very well. I am one of the persons who believe that yes, as a nation, at all material time, must put forward our best arsenals. We must put up the best human resources available to us if you are to develop. But the question is, how are we going to do it, looking at the way we have operated over the period, where we are unable to leave our political colors aside and focus on building this country? You have a situation where somebody is working within the civil service department, and because he believes he belongs to party A or B, his conduct comes to bear even on the work he does. He's forgotten that we have one country for us to build.
So then you do agree that we are very partisan as a people?
We are very, very partisan, very polarized as a people. That is true. It reflects everywhere.
Whose fault is it?
I am not too sure. I think that my very candid view is that we have not implemented to the latter the rules governing civil servants and stuff like that. Civil servants are supposed to be very, very neutral when it comes to political activities at their workplaces. But we all know that these things play out sometimes very glaringly. Everybody gets to know where everybody belongs to. They do all the politicking in the office. We are not able to hold them accountable. And I think that the political parties, we have to blame ourselves when we continue to do what I'll call divide and rule tactics, where we think that, oh, let's infiltrate the camps of various segments of society. Every single segment you can think of, political parties have their hands there, to the extent that even schools, go to our schools and go and check, people having SRC elections, having NUCS elections, find out the role politicians play in all those things. So in no time you have student leadership that is not a neutral, independent leadership, a leadership that can stand and fight for the interests of the students. What we have experienced over the period is the case that some people somehow manipulate the system, and it cuts across. We go to our labor unions. How many times have we not even heard ourselves come out to say that, well, this strike by this group of people is motivated or engineered by some other persons? Because we all know the things we can do. He knows the things they can do, I know the things we can do. And we know how far we can go. These are things sometimes we need to call a spade, say it as it is. I think that this country belongs to all of us. If we wake up every morning and water is flowing through our taps, everybody will be happy. If we wake up and our roads are in very motorable, they're in good condition, all of us will be happy. If our lights are on 24 hours, all of us will be happy. There should be a time for politicking, and there should be a time for national cohesion, coming together to think and build Ghana. But unfortunately, we are not able to bring that demarcation. It's as if it is polity all year round.
So as things stand now, can we then say that the political parties are doing us more harm than good?
Should I say the political parties? It's only the political parties. I think that the people who are doing us...
I mean, I think the root cause stems from the political parties, right?
Yeah, but my candid view, you see, there are some group of people today in this country who have tagged themselves as independent watchers, or for how we don't belong anywhere. For me, very candidly, they are the most dangerous people of our society.
You're talking about the civil society organizations, the Imanis and the CDDs.
They've not played their roles. At least take time to read around the world. See the way some of these civil society organizations have conducted themselves, held their country, make sure that the country is moving on, calling everybody to order and all that. But in our case here, you have persons who say, oh, I am an independent person. I don't belong to party A, party B. But everything he does, you don't need anybody to tell you where he stands. So it gets to a point when he speaks, nobody even wants to take him serious again. So I say, oh, even before he opens his mouth, everybody can predict and tell what he's going to say, because you know what he does. Meanwhile, he tells you this. If we indeed can have very independent civil societies that are fighting the cause of this country, the civil society that said, listen, we are not going to leave Ghana in the hands of NDC, in the hands of NPP. We need to make sure that Ghana is governed according to our own constitution, our own laws.
But is that not what the CSOs are doing currently?
Yeah. I am not. I'm saying I'm not saying all of them are culpable, but I think that majority of them.
Which specific ones do you have issues with?
It should not be fair for me to be mentioning them this morning.
No, you seem to have issues with some of them. So which specific ones do you have issues with?
It should not be fair for me to be mentioning them this morning. But the point is that every member of our society who watches and listens and monitors everything, at least will agree with what I'm saying. People know my brother here, maybe for the sake of the politicking today. You see, and the certain is that when you are in opposition, you see things differently. When you are in power, you see things differently.
I see.
Now, when you're in opposition, somehow everybody wants to put government on his toe. So it is easy for you to team up with all such organizations to fight the government. But when
is it to fight government or to get government to do what is right?
Sometimes you wonder if the agenda really is to fight government or to get government to do what is right. Because you talk to people who you expect that they should know better, people who should appreciate things better than a lot more people, and they will be the same people who will be championing some of these things. I'll give 2-3 examples. If, for instance, some monies have been paid to some people wrongly or whichever way,
are you talking of JIDA and all those things? Okay.
We are a country of law, we are a rule of law. That's the order of the day. What you have to do is to go to court. Now, court makes a determination that this man that was paid to person A was not rightfully paid, so the fellow should pay the money back to the state. Now, you don't get up, go to the fellow's house with a gun, point the gun in his head and say, hey, the court says you should pay the money. You need to go back to the same court. And the court must determine the process by which the money must be paid back to the state. Because the fellow doesn't have money, maybe he has some properties, you want to confiscate and sell and retrieve your money. All these things must be laid out clearly in law and at the court. But unfortunately, you get very, very highly educated who have read so much, who know, appreciate these things, and the same people who come on radio and handle it like maybe how every other ordinary person will go about it. And I get worried. Okay. I get worried. I thought that they should be there to guide all of us. They should be there to assist us to build democracy. That's the path we have to live for ourselves. So, yes, this is not what it's supposed to be. This is what we can do. Several members of parliament are losing their assist every now and then. Why? Because they are not providing roads, they are not providing schools, they are not providing water. And when you and I know that, per our law, that is not their core duty. Persons who should assist in educating the public about this is, and the same person who jump on radio and television and say accusing, oh, you appointed an MP or you became an MP since. What have you done for your people? Meanwhile, you know, the fellow is not even doing any good budget. He can do any of those things that you're talking about. The money that they give to the MP's common fund, it can't build a school. None can even build a hospital. Okay. So the point I'm making is that I agree with all those who are calling for us to come together, build this country, devoid of partisanship. There should be a time that we should pull the brakes. Okay, we are through elections. Now it's about building Ghana. So for the next 2-3 years, let us focus on how we can build Ghana. We should criticize, but it should be constructive. It must not be criticizing just for the sake of criticizing. Let's just throw in everything. Even when people are saying that the thing is white, they deliberately want to turn it to black. I don't think that helps anybody, and I cannot sit here and say this to exonerate our side, my side of the political divide. That's all of us, yes, we have done this thing to ourselves. One example I'll give maybe before my brother comes in: petroleum prices. I recall prior to the 2000 elections, NPP then were in opposition, were in power. And one of the major issues they campaigned on was the price of petrol. I remember those days when the flag bearer then, President Kufuor and the rest, holding rallies around the country, holding gallons, 6,400, can you buy, it's too expensive. All manner of things were said. Now, when they took over office in 2001, within 2 years, petrol has moved from 6,400 to 20,000, and then money. You know, in no time, by the time they were leaving office, look at where petrol was. When we went back into opposition, we had a cause to complain about the cost of petrol and call on them to bring the price down, that they could do better. We did all the calculation, the mathematics and the rest. We came into office and we also met with reality. And then we realized that sometimes these things goes just beyond you. It is not about you, it is not about Ghana alone, it's about the world market and what the order is.
So you tell me it's reality. Now, let me just quickly before Kamaldeen comes in, just mention something about the world markets. Now, as things stand now, the crude oil prices are even less than $60 or so. And we are buying fuel at a little over 10 cedis. I think it's about 12 cedis or so per gallon. Where is the correlation?
You see, I don't think there's any government that one can say that is a very wicked government that doesn't think about its people, or which will take decisions that will affect the people. You're just like a father in the house. Oh, maybe some money you're not expecting just comes into your hand. So 500,000 Ghana cedis. Then you come home that day, you want to say, oh, let's go and buy clothes here, let's go and buy some, let's change our furniture in the room. You're living in a rented apartment. For your wife, change the furniture, buy new things, buy new clothes, buy new TV, buy, those things are beautiful and nice. But then you as the father say, no, listen, we cannot continue to be a tenant. We have to get our own land, we have to build our own house. So even though we have gotten this money we are not expecting, let us go and acquire a plot of land and start doing our own project.
So what's the motive behind
the point I'm making is that,
so much for?
The point I'm making is that, yes, the price of petrol products might have come down at the world market. But you need to know the dynamics. It's not going to be like that forever. Why are we where we are now? Have you checked the international dynamics, what is happening, why the price of petrol is here today? This country, one of the difficulties we have gone through, it became like a ritual. Almost every 2 years, you saw cars queuing in filling stations. There's no fuel. One, because I have not been able to pay the BDCs and the rest, and we are running short of this.
So it's because government owes the BDCs.
Is having a problem.
Is that the reason? Because the government owes.
Debt recovery levy was set up. to defray the cost at all.
That has been
As
clear.
we speak now,
That has been clear.
TOR is still not working at its maximum capacity because there are still challenges.
Working.
I see.
Where we are now, for me, I think there's an opportunity for us rather to raise enough resources, build this basis, build these structures, so we don't come back to this cyclical challenge that we have always gone through. And for me, this is why I expect the people of this country to cooperate with the government.
Let me rope in Kamaldeen.
Well,
Kamaldeen, he's mentioned quite a number of interesting things.
A lot. I've been taking notes.
Yes. Maybe you could also start off with maybe from what you just ended with.
First of all, I want to set off from the nationalistic point of view.
And he's actually blaming most of the civil society organizations who appear to be non-partisan.
I beg to differ with him on that point in a way. It is important. First of all, let me say good morning to our cherished viewers out there. It is important as a nation for us to be law-abiding.
Okay.
When you look at the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, per se, it tells us clearly that as a people we ought to be together. As a people, we must actually be formidable and move in unity. Because, clearly, even in the governance or in the management of political parties, per Article 55 of the Constitution of Ghana, we are told that we should do it within the tenets of democracy. That tells you that clearly you must open your doors to everybody in a party if you are from. That is even for political parties. Let's talk of even a nation. So when the call comes from Cardinal Texan, the call comes from the Peace Council,
Asante. Yeah.
Asante,
Yeah.
okay, that we should try to make our political environment look more stable and also ensure that we work together as a people and move forward. I could not have agreed with them the more. Clearly, I agree with whatever position they have. National Development Planning Commission is clearly entrenched in our constitution. Okay, that we needed to have people, not Fred Agbenyo alone, who belongs to NDC, must govern the affairs of Ghana. It could be Kamal, also in MPP, invited. It could be someone from CPP invited. That is why we call it National Development Planning Commission, which the president is supposed to appoint people who are more competent, people who have got a holistic view concerning the nation to be part of the
Is that not what is currently happening?
As we sit here today, it is for me best described as a toothless bulldog.
The NDPC.
Completely.
You describe it as a toothless bulldog.
It's not even, it's non-existent. It is just mentioned in the constitution, but it's not working. Two, when we go on as a country, today we have...
Before you move on,
yes.
you say it's not working.
It's not working because I'll tell you why it's not working. That's the point of it. I'm going to blame politicians here. Wait a minute. Oh, please. You let me go on. Let me just go on, please. I did not actually say anything with you. You see, when you move on, you realize that we've had leaders in this country who are supposed to be at helm of affairs. I mean, at the helm of affairs. They are supposed to be on the top hierarchy of this particular country as an organizational structure. They make comments that points to the fact that unity is not even something we should do.
Can you give me an example?
I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Our late president of blessed memory, Professor Thomas, clearly came out to tell us that ministers must open their doors for NDC people to come in.
He said that?
Clearly.
On which platform?
NDC. Oh no, my brother will even testify. He's a communication officer. He knows that. Clearly, when...
did he say any such thing? Because I don't recall hearing any.
Open their doors for NDC people did not even say for Ghanaians. If a public officer is told to open his doors or her doors for NDC people, that points to the fact that the unity that we so much seek to espouse is out. Today, I am not surprised that institutions like IEA have come out to take up this, campaign for the winner takes all, campaign against the winner takes all thing, and seeking to get us all as politicians, whoever comes to power, get everybody involved to move on. President Kufuor showed the way. He espoused the all-inclusiveness or all-inclusive government when he came to power. He said, look, let's get everybody involved. Professor Akosa, we all know where he belongs. CPP. He was part of his management of this country, especially the health sector. We had people who, of course, were called on board, who did not belong to his party, and they had to work.
So are you saying President Mahama hasn't done any such thing?
Today, of course, maybe my brother is here, he will speak for me. He would give us examples that we do have. I am saying that to be healthy as a people, for us to ensure that this country is actually governed holistically so we can move on. Now to the points that my brother mentioned. So for me, it is the politician who is supposed to be proactive towards uniting us, because he is seen as the someone who, of course, pulled the shots. Today, when you take the constitution, the executive has so much powers than everybody. Everybody. Virtually, our constitution is like the president is everything. When you take our constitution from A to Z, read it. It tells you government is executive, executive is the president. That's the definition in it. Article 295 will tell you government is executive. When you come to 57, it will tell you executive is the president. Are you getting me? So he is everything. He appoints, he does everything. So is it to get these examples of unity being set, it's supposed to come from him. We should have the president. That is why I said if a president makes a comment that open doors for NDC people, that is not healthy to us as a Ghanaian, because you are the one who, of course, is listening to. So for me, it's not the CBOs that he's talking about. The CBOs have a role to play. Pressure group, kind of, which is also entrenched in our constitution. You see, the constitution has not left anything aside at all. It tells you that, look, the pressure groups, the CBOs, and whatever are welcomed, because it is even part and parcel of our development as a human institution.
I think he shares with you. He shares with you in that thought. So his problem has to do with those CSOs who seem to portray themselves as neutral, yet still are not.
Yes, I think that to a large extent, I would have to say that we as a people, we have a role to play in welcoming everybody. Myself and my brother, when we meet outside, you can't even tell whether he's NDC and I'm MPP, whatever. We gel together, we talk very well, and then we move on. I believe that should be seen outside there. However, I am saying that if you are given a task, make sure that the task that you are actually supposed to do reflects to welcome everybody. But where the task that you are supposed to carry out points to the fact that you are leaning towards some people, or you are leaning towards some people and leaving some other people, then of course the unity that we're talking about, we may not get it. My brother mentioned due process of the law and says that people jump on radio and TV and talk about when the court says someone has actually been paid some money that he's not supposed to take, and then the court says he should refund the money. People, instead of waiting for the due process, will go to radio and be talking plenty and make signs. It's very interesting. I don't know why he should have a problem with that one. Then he ought not to have come on radio again anyway next time. Maybe he himself should not even come on radio. You see, the importance of media and the importance of pressure group can never be underestimated. That is why I told you that in the constitution, we are even told to form pressure groups to push government to do what is right. So if the due process of the law is already there, that when you go to court and the court tells you do X, Y, Z, then you who is sitting at the Ministry of Justice as Attorney General, you are not doing it. Then me, as a citizen who is affected, whose money has actually been stolen and given to somebody, then I can come on radio and talk about it.
I see.
That you didn't do the right thing. So I disagree with Fred when he says that we should just forget and then wait for the due process of, what is the due process of the law? The law tells you go and do this. And you didn't do it. And I shouldn't come and sit on radio and tell you, my brother, Minister of Justice, go and do that. I am supposed to tell you. Because if I don't tell you, culture of silence will kill us.
Okay.
So I disagree with him there. Again, on petrol prices.
Okay.
He talked of very interesting points that he raised, saying that prior to 2000 election, we had done a lot of politics with petrol. Prior to 2008 election, they had done a lot of politics with petrol. The law is the law. I read a book written by Lord Denning, who says that due process of the law must be key in every society. And we have what we call ATAF, Automatic Tariff Adjustment System. I read just somewhere last week that one of our citizens of this country is threatening to go to court on that same particular, arrangement. You see, when you look at Article 11 of the Constitution of Ghana, it tells you the laws that are made up in Ghana. We have the Constitution, we have the regulations, we have the allies, we have all these things are laws. We call them the organic laws. Now, if you come as a people, we all agree there is something called ATAF. We've all agreed. Whether it's in paper or not, we can have a convention that is also law. Or a practice that also becomes law, because it gradually crystallizes into a law when it's always the practice. Are you getting my point here? Now, if we all agree that ATAF is what we're supposed to use, and ATAF clearly tells us that on the world market, when the prices go down, automatically you must have your prices also going down.
We have had our prices go down, haven't we?
That's not the point I'm making. That's why I'm trying to disagree with him. The difference between yesterday's analogy that he made and today is what I'm trying to point out.
Okay.
Now the point is that if ATAF tells you that this is the regulation, and then only for the thing to happen, and you are a politician who claim that you care for us, I care for you, government. People matter, you matter, everybody matter. You claim you care for us. Now the time has come for you to reduce it. You come and tell us the best reason why you cannot reduce it because you think you are owing some BDCs. Which it wasn't the making of the common citizen that you owed BDC. I paid. You told me to pay realistic prices. Sorry, I'm paying it. And again, you told me that the ATAF tells me that when it's high, you pay high. I agree, and I'm paying. Today, when ATAF, of course, is supposed to be used so that the common taxi driver who wants to have Christmas,
but Kamadin, ATAF is being used.
It's now.
It's being used. We are expecting a review tomorrow. 30th.
You see,
we are expecting
it should have been done long ago. You see, you don't wait until people are squeezed, and now you tell us that you have cashed in the windfall. I know after cashing in the windfall, they don't tell us, oh, okay, we think that by tomorrow we'll do it.
Okay.
You see, law is the law. That's why I'm saying that when the time comes, when it's today, change it.
I see.
When it's tomorrow, change.
Okay.
If the thing had gone up, bet me, you would have actually been paying high for prices now. So, my brother, you have no excuse at all when you want to tell us that you want to use the opportunity to get the. You are milking us. You are robbing us.
So there's a review. There's a review on the 30th.
My brother,
Let's just wrap it up.
I'm not sure I finished. I'm not sure.
But I'm saying there's a review.
Yes.
On the 30th.
Yes.
Are you hoping to see a reduction in the fuel prices, and by what margin?
I'm hoping to see a very insignificant reduction in the fuel. As we said now,
so you're hoping for a reduction.
When I go to the Expo, when I go to the filling station,
are you hoping for a reduction?
I am. Of course, they have no option. They cannot increase it.
I see. So, by what margin?
But I'm telling you, that's why the margin doesn't have a problem. The margin that I expect to see, clearly, is not going to be what it's supposed to be.
What is it supposed to be?
Now, per the calculations that we have done, they came out on mathematics. I'm happy he mentioned it. They had two Ahoys coming out with board and then pointing to us how much prices were supposed to be. When crude oil was about $147 a barrel, and we were selling at 5.70 pesos. Today, crude oil is below $60 a barrel, and we are buying at 15 cedis. This is ridiculous. And I'm saying that today we are shortchanging me and you when we go to pump to buy fuel, and I buy 15 cedis. Under normal circumstances, I have been robbed of 5 cedis. We're supposed to pay 10 cedis, some pesos on a gallon of fuel now, per the ATAF. Pundits have come out to calculate it and show it to us.
I see.
Today, Ghana is the only country in sub-Saharan Africa that pays so high for fuel. As we said today, he can go and cross-check. He knows.
That's not true.
Look, I can mention countries. Mention them. Ghana is the only country where we pay 3 cedis plus for a liter.
So your expectation is that we are supposed to pay for we are supposed to buy for at 10 Ghana cedis
plus, as about close to 11 cedis. That's basically the calculation. What the calculation says. So you and I today, he himself inclusive, we are being robbed for 5 cedis, and we are told they told us they said they want to use that money to pay debt. A debt we never incurred. You know how the debt was incurred? Due to their own physical mismanagement of the economy. Because if you let your forex market becomes very, very, very porous, and the depreciation of the cedi is so high, and you can go to the Bank of Ghana and go again to black market pay what we saw at the Brazilian Commission anyway, that you go and buy dollars and carry it on plane and run away, and there's no dollar, there's depletion of dollar, and the forex market goes so high, then today you are saying that because of your own mismanagement, we should pay for it. What are you telling them?
Anyway, Fred,
it's a serious thing.
So there's supposed to be a reduction, like I mentioned earlier. There's supposed to be a review, not a reduction. A review. We don't know whether it will go. It will be a downward review or an upward review.
Downward, but
now, are you also hoping for a reduction like he is hoping for?
I was very careful this morning not to be too partisan on this subject.
I'm not being partisan.
And I thought all of us were going to maintain the same line, but unfortunately, it didn't become the case. I don't know, but be as it may, there's going to be a review. Yeah, the review will come. All of us are praying that it will be a decision that will be in the supreme interest of this country. The review will be a decision that will be in the interest of this country. You see, when people talk about the price of petrol, in particular, is becoming the subject now in the world market and vis-a-vis what should have happened in this country, automatic adjustment programs that followed it closely and all that. I don't intend doing what he's pushing me to do. We all recall in this country before 2008 elections.
No, but let's just move.
The point I want to make is that,
are you looking forward to a reduction in the fuel prices?
Well, I'm yet to. I can't speak now when I don't know exactly what is going to happen. I don't want to put anything out today.
He will not because he wants money.
So that tomorrow they'll come.
So is it that you're not in the knowing?
Yes, I have to cross-check.
Okay. So now let me
there's
ask.
There's going to be a review, but it's going to be upwards adjustment or downwards.
So now let me rephrase the question. Are you hoping for a reduction?
I think that the managers will take the decision that is in the interest of this country.
I'm asking you as Fred Agbenyo, are you hoping for a reduction?
They will take
in
a
the fuel
decision
prices?
that is in the supreme interest of Ghana.
I see.